All right, so just like you wanted to have two words for a model, I figured you also probably wanted to have two or more words for a namespace. So you can have two or more words for a model. You can now have two or more words for a namespace. Um, and it's the same idea as when you had a single word as a namespace. You have to have something registered, and then the things before that become the namespace. And so if you have more than one word before that, so in our prior example, it was just admin. Um, admin was just the one word, so it namespaced it with just the one word. But if you have more than one word before your registered model, then that all becomes the namespace with hyphens in between, the minus signs in between. So I'm going to go back to our cooking app. If you've been following along, you've seen that we've been building out this cooking app called Cooker. And Cooker has recipes, and you can go to a recipe, and then you can go to the index page for recipes and see all the recipes, and then you can click on a recipe and see that, okay, here's a particular recipe, and recipes have comments and comments. You can go in and see the comment, and then you can see that comments have images. And so here's the index page for images. So I don't though have like a create for recipes. I just have for recipes, I have the index page and the show page. And if we come to here, so here's the Cooker app. We are in the recipe controller. We just see um, the index, which would show a list of all the recipes, and the show page. And that's what I want. So for my general users, I just want them to be able to see recipes and see a list of all the recipes and see a single recipe. But I want some users to be able to create recipes, right? And so those users, maybe I call them the test kitchen. And so that's like two words. Instead of admin, I have something a little more custom, tailored, bespoke, if you want, to this app, right? And so I'm going to call that test kitchen. And when if I just type test kitchen, and if I have recipes as a registered model, then it will make that two-word namespace. Now, if you haven't been following along, that's completely fine. You just need to create a new app or with Flask new and then create your app, or in the app that you currently have, just make a recipes model. So once you have created your app or you already have an app running, then just do something simple like this. Make an index page with Flask make view recipes.index and then minus RCM. So the minus M will generate the model. So you need a recipes model that's registered. And then, so once that's registered, so in here in my models, if I go to my init, I have recipes registered, users registered, comments, and image. So that's all registered. So now I want to do Flask make controller and then test kitchen. All right, so test kitchen and then recipe controller. And I want all 7 RESTful actions. So I want to be able to see all the recipes. I want to be able to see an individual one, but I also want to be able to edit and create. So all 7 RESTful actions. So that's why I put the minus CRUD. I don't need this. We're not generating a model. And so we don't need this or this. We're just basically organizing what's already there and providing functionality under specific scenarios. So we'll run that. And so now what I'm going to have is I should see Test Kitchen kind of running around in my app. And I see it right there. I don't see anything in model. Here, let's make this a little bit bigger. So I don't see anything in model for Test Kitchen, which is good. It's not a data structure. So we're going to go to routes. We see Test Kitchen and we see recipes, and then we see our routes. And then there's that nice nested naming scenario. So, oops, let's make this smaller. So we'll see Test Kitchen, and then this is a list of all the recipes. Here's Test Kitchen recipe and a particular recipe. Here's where you can create. Here's where you store what you just created. So all 7 RESTful actions, and you have that nice naming convention where there is a Test Kitchen init, and the Test Kitchen recipe blueprint is registered in Test Kitchen, and Test Kitchen is registered in the app. And the reason for that kind of a roundabout circle is it allows us to do things like this. If we want to see a particular, or this is the edit one, so if you want to show a particular recipe under the Test Kitchen, then you would do URL4 and then testkitchen.recipes.show. So the namespace comes first, and then we start with our data structure, and this we know is a data structure. So because we're doing show, we would need a recipe ID. So this is just an example. Okay, so you have that. And then in the templates, you see the same structure. So Test Kitchen, recipe, and then there are your 4 templates. And so if we come to our here, so like on the create page, let's go back here to the route for Test Kitchens. So on the create page, it would be recipes create. That would be the get. So if I come here and I look, I should get a 404 when I do this, because the general public, the general user should not be able to create. But if you give a user very specific rights to get to Test Kitchen, then they don't get the 404. So you would protect Test Kitchen like you would protect like an admin route with middleware. And again, that's kind of outside the scope of these tutorials. I'm just giving you use cases for this. And then those users would be able to come in here and create a recipe. All right. So multi-word namespacing. So you now have multi-word namespacing, multi-word models, and you can do all that in the controller. All right. We'll see you in the next video.